Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. Got my system to work finally.
That's good news.
Absolutely.
We're just waiting on Cassidy here.
Okay.
She should be here in 1 second. Let me.
All righty. I'm going to put my earbuds in. I think I hear better. Okay.
Make sure Oops. Okay, I've invited her again just to see if that might help. Okay, it looks like she got it. Have you had a good week? I can't hear you.
Hi.
Hi, Cassidy. No, you're fine. Donna, I can't hear you anymore. It's now fuzzy.
Oh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Cassidy.
Oh, okay. I know, hers like went muted, which is weird.
Yeah, it is. It was working fine just a second ago. I could hear her. You can hear us, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, awesome. Somehow it got muted. I don't know how.
Oh, that's okay. So, okay, so it doesn't, I didn't see, did anybody see a time limit on the broadcast?
I don't.
I didn't see one, and I just read it.
Well, and did we have to like say we signed up for a specific group? Like, you know how we did last time and it was like
Yeah.
5? Did we have to do that?
I did, but I was supposed to do mine on yesterday, but I had a family thing come up, and so I did sign up for the other group, but things changed. So I'm going to email her and see what we need to do.
Okay, because I like, do I make the group or who? Like, how do we?
I think the group's already created, like she's already created like general groups, but we have to go in and click like, join this group.
Like which number is available?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And I said group number 7. I think group number 8 is available for us, so we can take 8.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay.
All right. Donna, just to make sure your microphone's working.
No, now it isn't.
Oh, that is so weird.
What the heck?
I know.
Do you think it's because she has headphones in?
No, because I have them in too. Let me see. It shouldn't be an issue. It might. Sometimes Google Hangouts is a little finicky, but.
Well, if you go to settings, it says like default microphone or built-in microphone. I think default works. I don't know about built-in, but
Okay.
that's so weird.
I know. See if you can unplug them, Donna, and see if we can hear you when you're unplugged. No, it's fuzzy again.
Weird. It was just working. That's the
I
weird.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What the heck? It like goes,
That is weird.
it like goes in and out.
Yeah.
It does. There's something that keeps popping up on my screen and it says fall banned. I don't have no clue what that is. And then I will go mute.
Well, that's my email address.
Oh, how
But
weird.
then it shouldn't like mute because of that, right?
Yeah, that's
It shouldn't, but that's what it said one time. It said fall banned muted you. And it's like, how could that be? I don't know. But if you can hear me now, we're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I counted the bullet points for the study guide for case study 5, or study guide, case study, not study guide. And there's 8 bullet points, and there's 3 of us. So 2 of us can take 3, and 1 of us can take 2. But we can go ahead and discuss this. Do you guys want to kind of decide which ones you want to do? So this is what I did last time when we did this kind of thing.
Mhm.
We had the document, and then when we were kind of discussing each of the things that we kind of thought of as we read or typed or whatever, and then just put it a Google Doc with no answers, and then shared it, and then everybody went and added their under their bullet points, the discussion. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So will you send it in an email? And then
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll create the Google Doc, and then we can just kind of decide right now who gets what bullet points, and then we can discuss, and you can who's ever the bullet point we're discussing, we can kind of take notes. If there's something like you didn't think of, and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds good, let me add this onto this, and then we can just put it all together in the Google Doc and submit it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's easy, I think. Best way to do it.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody feel really passionately about having a certain bullet point?
I don't think so.
Okay. Donna, I can't hear you again. I don't know. I think you might need to unplug and plug in again, because I think that's what does the trick. That's so different.
I know.
Bizarre.
There we go. We can hear you now.
How weird.
That
I
is
know.
really
I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay,
I
let
don't
me
either.
questions. Is it under case study number 5?
Yes.
Oh, analysis. Okay.
It was kind of a short study or a case study this time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too in-depth or anything.
It didn't really have, it was super brief. That was why I was kind of confused.
Yeah, it was really brief.
What did she want us to I don't know, talk about really?
I think it kind of just leaves a little bit of room for our own interpretations of things.
Okay. And
And I
is it
don't
just supposed
know.
to like, are we basically, so from my understanding, this man lives in a really like dangerous area. He had a son who's already died, and then they
Mhm,
had another son,
mhm,
and they named him the same name.
mhm.
And then was it his brother who had a daughter who had like pretty bad anger issues? Did you see that part?
Yes, I did, and I believe it was. Let me see. I can't remember where it is. But yeah, there is. I think it is his brother that has the daughter.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah.
Because so basically, I think what the case study wants us to talk about is how like he especially and their family like should deal with stress of like the loss of their son,
Mhm.
um their new son, he was the one who got hurt, right, with his arm in the
Yeah.
sling. Okay, so that's their new son. So
Mhm.
that's also probably a stressful situation. And it just sounds like they're in a really dangerous area. So it seems to me like their stress levels are always going to be high because you never know if your kids are safe, what next attack could happen.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Is that what you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think that, gosh, when I was reading this, I just felt like, I think today we kind of got some bad news about like a job thing, and we thought it was going to start sooner than it was. And then I read this and I was like, my day's not that crappy. Like,
Right. I know.
like my
Well,
life is not that bad.
yeah, and it like even with the the quiz we just had, and all the like information that that doctor was sharing with us about like marital stress and how that affects families based on like where they live close to like the border or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just like, wow, that's so crazy to think that those people, that's the life they live every single day,
Yeah.
that they're like in fear of their life and their children's lives. And they're just in such a dangerous area. I mean, it's just so crazy to me that people can live like that because I would honestly go nuts.
Hmm.
I would go crazy because of all the stress I was on.
I know. And like living in that panic
Yeah.
constantly, like knowing that your friends might be getting killed, your family members could be getting killed at that very moment. It could land on your house,
Yeah,
whatever. Like, it's just the craziest
totally. And like for
thing.
some couples to say like this has brought us closer together because we know that we're under these circumstances and it could, our tomorrow could be our last day together or
Mhm.
that was crazy to me that they have taken it so positively to
Mhm.
make themselves closer as a couple and as a family. I think that that's so crazy because then there's the other couples who they mentioned that their marriage was struggling
Yeah.
because they're always stressed and they don't make time for each other because they're so, frantic about everything else going on.
Mhm.
So I just think it was really cool that they like compared the two sides of how some families deal with it and how some others deal with things. And I'm just like, holy crap, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like, how do I fit into this spectrum? And
Yeah.
I just think, like, what was the first? So the first one, so like the summary, we kind of ran down the summary a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, so to offer help for this father
Yeah.
and his family, gosh, like, I mean, I would obviously say, so I have an aunt who lost a daughter really young. Well, she was 11, in like this crazy freak accident.
Mhm.
and it's really hard, and I've obviously never gone through anything like that, so I don't like I can't say like I feel like I can't say much to the
Right.
situation.
Right.
But one thing that I noticed that I think was a little because she still had 3 other children that she needed to raise and take care of, and sorry, let me move my computer. And and you know, to support and her husband and everything. And I guess it's been like 8 years now that she's passed away. Um, but for a long time, the house was like a shrine to this daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were no pictures of any other children on the walls except for the daughter that they lost. And I understand it's a pain. I mean, I don't understand completely, but it's a painful thing. And I'm sure that's really hard. But I think it was really hard for the children because anything that they did or anything that was going on was completely overshadowed by the loss of their sister.
Totally.
Which in the beginning that's normal.
Yeah.
But after a few years, you know, you need to start taking care of your children. Like after a few months, you need to start taking care of your children. And I just thought that was a very hard thing for the children to have to deal with, where their parents were so concentrated on, well, Craven this and Craven this, and oh, this is Craven. Oh, Craven would have done this, and Craven would have done this. Which I understand. You want to have memories, and you want to.
Are you supposed to open up like an envelope?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. And so, anyways,
I made that cut.
okay, cut in the middle. Sorry. He's trying to feed my husband. But it was just really hard, and I think that that's something that he could be helped with, where yes, you lost your son and that's a very hard thing to go through, but focus on the people that are here because he's no longer suffering.
Right.
And your children need you.
Well, and even they mention in the article that the dad has been like, yeah, like we love our son, but he'll never replace like our other son, which of course he's not ever going to replace your other son.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that you never had the son that died, you know, and like it's okay to totally mourn over his loss.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they just they're hanging on to it a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's making their other son with his name like almost feel like he has to live up to his brother's expectation or his father's expectation of his brother.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, with the kid, it's like it's hard on him.
It's a lot of pressure.
And they didn't really go into a lot of detail in the case study about how like the son is feeling. But that's obviously kind of the vibes that I'm getting. And especially for you to say that too,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like you got that vibe as well, talking about your aunt and how the kids were kind of like, Mom, like we're still here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we're really sad about the loss of our sister, but I need you right now too.
Yeah, like we're still here.
Yeah.
And
So I totally agree with that on the son's part, that he's probably like, Dad, like, let's move on now.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like coping for the dad, like what do you guys think would be like a really good method? Because I know we've talked about a lot of different methods in this class for like, you know, different families and what works best for each of them. Like, do you think like a family council meeting with his family would kind of help them be able to like talk about stuff? Or do you think it would just make the dad like shut down and not really want to chat?
Donna, your microphone isn't working again. I'm sorry. Just, there we go. We can kind of hear something here. Do whatever you were doing again.
Can't hear you, Donna. That's so weird. I don't know.
I feel bad.
Why. It's like it's doing it by itself.
Yeah, it's like it's shutting her off for some reason.
I know there's a button at the top that says like mute microphone. Is that on? No. Well, can Donna like type? If she sends a message in the chat, are we able to see it?
Yeah, the teacher also said that she could call, like I could call her and you can speak on speakerphone and I can put it by the computer so we can all hear.
Oh, that would
Do you
work.
want to try that?
Yeah, whatever works. I'm down to try whatever. I just feel bad that her like,
I know, that's so weird. Let me
oh,
get my-
I got my chat up. Okay, so she can chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's do that. You can chat. Go ahead and give your little spiel.
You can type it in parts too, Donna, so it like comes through and we'll read it as you keep typing.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Good. Good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like he for sure has not been able to come to a point that he obviously is still very upset about the death of his son, but he can move on. And I feel like he's really stuck and he doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know how to move forward. And
Yeah.
you know, I think it's affecting his child, and I think maybe even his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, you know, if his wife has mourned and she has kind of moved on a little bit, that could affect their marriage a lot. That he's still really stuck on. Or he might also, you know, like blame himself, which could also be like another big issue of why he's holding on to the loss of his son. Like, oh, I could have done more. I
Mm-hmm.
should have been there. Or like, you know, when you just can't. You
Yeah.
can't live that way, because I have known people that do that, and it just, that's what holds them so tight onto the death of someone they loved, because they just couldn't, they thought it was their fault, you know, and that made it totally harder for them.
Yeah. It's I agree with I agree with both of you. There's definitely guilt involved, I think. And I think that because I think it's important. Can you get him to stop barking, please?
Rugby, stop.
Sorry. Just I think because they're in such a stressful environment and there's so much happening all the time and there's so much out of their control that they're not really contributing to or playing a role in any way, but it's affecting them in a very huge way.
Yeah.
I think that I feel like talking to family members may not necessarily help him because they're going through the same things and he may just think like, oh, like from a wife's perspective, maybe she's nagging me.
Yeah.
Or you know, whatever the circumstance may be. But somebody who can validate his feeling of loss, because it said in the article, sons are valued so highly in that culture. To validate his loss, that yes, this is painful and hard, and like I understand you, but to also take a step back and say, but look at everything you have now. Let's control what you can control, and let's move forward from this point.
Yeah.
And I think that talking to an outsider may benefit him more than anything else. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Well, and then he's like free to say what he wants without like offending,
Yeah.
family members. And if it gets things off his chest and it makes him feel better, then like say what he needs to say,
Yeah. And then it's in the privacy, so then his son isn't hearing
Right.
the struggles that he's going through. His wife isn't heartbroken about like, oh, we lost, because I'm sure if there's a wife, I'm sure she feels guilty too.
Right.
Like I'm sure she's feeling that same guilt, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I provided this son and now he's gone.
Yeah.
And so but I think that the son is definitely there are some risks for him to be that replacement son,
Yeah.
or to live up to that potential. But then there could be the totally different end of the spectrum where he's coddled
Yeah.
because of what happened to his brother,
Totally.
where he's just like,
I think
it's just so much like overprotection and so much like, you can't, like, don't go anywhere, don't leave the house ever, live with us for your whole life type
Yeah.
of thing, because I've seen that happen too.
Totally.
And so I think that the son, I mean, the father, there's some risks there, but I think the son who is in the sling definitely has the most at risk.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Donna, did your mom feel very responsible for the death of your sister? Is that why she carried guilt with her, or? Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard.
Well, it seems like, yeah, just with this dad, I think that's totally why he's stuck on the death
Mm-hmm.
of his son. It's him feeling guilty himself about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be so hard.
I know, that would be really, really hard. So I think family councils would benefit them.
Mhm.
I feel like, but I definitely feel like one-on-one counseling for especially the father and
Yeah.
the mother, if she's there for her as well.
Yeah.
That would be beneficial to them. And then for him to kind of, I think, to understand any of the models that we've discussed, but only one of them, to
Mhm.
help him kind of say, okay, so for the ABCX model, he can look, let's see, these are my resources, these are who I can turn to, this is what I can do to move forward.
Right.
So I think that would be beneficial to him on that spectrum. But yeah, do you guys have another model or something that could help him, like maybe the mood logs, like writing down?
Yeah, actually a mood log probably, well, and I feel like a mood log is super effective for some people, and I feel like for other people it would really just not help them. It would like totally make them remember that they're upset,
Mm-hmm.
and to be like, oh, let me write down that I'm so mad, is
Yeah.
not going to help a lot of people. For me, it probably would really help me.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for, maybe my husband, that would not be something that he wanted to do that would help him.
Yeah.
But I like also what Donna said about the dad also might feel really guilty because he knows that they're not in a safe place. And that's actually true because he knows that by them living there, that's the reason their son died, was because they weren't in a safe environment. And being the dad, he's supposed to be like the protector, the provider,
Yeah.
So I really like what you said about that, Donna, because that actually probably has a huge impact on the way he's feeling about the death of his son as well.
And the culture that he's a part of
Mm-hmm.
is it gives such a high respect and regard to the patriarch of the family.
Yeah.
Where, you don't do anything without the permission of your father, and you know, he has in his culture such a high responsibility and a high honor as a father, and to have all of those feelings manifested in this tragedy, could really definitely give huge feelings of guilt.
Yeah. And yeah, like Donna said too, it would be hard to stay in the same place that a family member died. I have known several people who have had to move because being in that place where a loved one died is just way too hard for them. You know, it really doesn't help the process of them healing. They're always reminded, they're always dwelling, they always feel kind of that, I don't know, loss really heavily. So I think that's really true too. It sounds to me, now that we've talked about it, that he's just, there's a lot of things contributing to the dad's pain. And I think also having another son reminds him of his first son. And so that's hard on him too. And especially with the same name.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe they shouldn't have done that, because now he's constantly going to be reminded of his son who died.
Yeah.
And I just feel so bad for the younger son who now is just like, I don't know.
He was kind of born burdened into the family.
Totally. So, I don't know.
Yeah. That's true, Donna. True. Oh my gosh.
But I really do feel like a lot of those things could totally be contributing to this man's loss.
Definitely. And now that you mentioned the place where he lived, my aunt who lost her daughter actually, she had something happened. So she was 11 years old, but she was taking a bath like on Sunday morning, and her brain, it's called like a brain, there's like a word for it, but the dumbed down word is brain seizure. And so she drowned in the bathtub.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, you never think you have to watch an 11-year-old when they're in the bath. Totally. You know, they're old enough.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that's how she died. She drowned in the bathtub. And they stayed in that house for years.
Wow.
Years. And it was like, I could tell, like, it was kind of, I mean, they ripped out the bathroom and, like, redid the bathroom and, like, didn't have any tubs in the house. They only had showers and did a whole thing. But it was still
in the place where
it was still a location where, you know, Craven did this or she did this, or like in this place, and this was her bedroom and this was her bed, and everything was still kind of that way. Well, just about over a year ago, they moved away, and my parents are visiting, and they were like, she's a different person.
Yeah.
And
it really does help a lot of people.
Yeah.
They also feel like they can get a fresh start. I feel like, you know, and I mean, a lot of times for a lot of people, it helps to move away from people they don't know, so people don't mention to them about the loss of their child or the loss of their sister, you know. And so when you move someone somewhere new, a lot of people, they don't know.
Yeah.
So they don't bring it up to you. I know a lot of people struggle with others mentioning things like that because it just makes them think about that person they lost and just how hard it's been on them. So that could also be a big thing. But
Donna, was this recently? Oh, wow. So did you end up moving?
Oh, wow, I'm sorry, Donna.
That's.
And did it help you to move? No.
Okay, that's awesome.
There you go. And now you met your new husband.
Yeah. That's good. That's really special. I'm sorry that happened. Coping strategies?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking, how about with whoever wants to just do two? How about they do the first two? Because I know when you briefly summarize the case, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
To write everything. So if someone wants to just do the first two, and then 2 of us could do the last 6, like 3 and 3,
Right.
because those ones are, easier than, I don't know, the brief summarizing the case always takes me the longest.
I know.
I'm like, oh my gosh, let me write every single detail, because I don't know if she wants, like, I don't want to get dogged down if I don't put enough stuff. So
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as both of you. Yeah, Donna, if you want to take the first 2, you got them. And I'll email you guys in a Google Doc.
Okay.
And I'll just create a Google Doc and copy and paste this in there. And then kind of, now with the fall back, I'm like struggling. By like 8 o'clock, I'm a goner. But anyways, so yeah, I'll do that. And then we can just type in. And if there's something you see and you really like thought that was a good point that somebody said or whatever, you can add it in really quick. I'm sure nobody will care.
Cool. All right.
Yeah,
I
you
can
do
do
that.
the last 3, Finley.
Okay.
But I want to do the middle ones. And
Yeah,
then
that's
I'll
totally fine.
them. I can submit it too if you guys want.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to submit it, that'd be great. I'll do the middle 3. And do we want to? So tomorrow, it's due tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
So do we want to have this completed by tonight?
Yeah. So how about right after we get off this,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just all like fill it in, and
Okay.
or should we do it like now while we're talking?
We can. She said, my last one, we just like kind of discussed everything and went through it. And then I sent the email and then we logged off and then just filled it in and then I submitted it.
Okay. Whatever works is fine with me.
I mean, unless you guys really want to stay on, I don't mind. I don't care.
I don't care either. I mean, I feel like we've discussed a lot.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's see. Any other questions we should go over? Is anyone not sure on some of their questions? Well, I guess we covered the first 2 for Donna.
Yeah.
But what about you, Finley? Is there anything in the middle that you're kind of like, oh, what should we write on this? So list relevant risks, dangers to the family and its members face.
I think we got that one.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah. Talked about the son and the father and
And then list relevant opportunities presented to this family as a result of this crisis. I think, do you think they have like the option to move? Or do you think it's kind of one of those things where they're stuck?
From what it sounds like they're kind of stuck.
That's what I'm thinking too, because I was thinking, well, an opportunity for them could be awesome that they now, they could move due to this tragedy. But it does kind of seem like that's not really an option.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they like would have moved. But what do you guys think is like opportunities? I like maybe just an opportunity for the family to become closer now because of this loss.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So just maybe write about that, how like with, certain methods, it could really be a good opportunity for the dad to recover from the tragedy now that he has the resources to do so.
Yeah.
And, hopefully that would make the family feel a lot closer and better, especially the son.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, and there's one other point. Let me see. Okay, so they talked about he lost his job as well because of his poor health after his son died.
Right.
And his older brother helped him.
Uh-huh.
His brother's son was also injured in the explosion, and it's hard for his brother to see his brother. So it's hard so Allah is the brother, Allah, and then Kortum is the guy we're talking about.
Yeah. Right.
And so Allah says that it's hard for him to see his brother suffering. And that's interesting. I would have never thought that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but he also, so he is, so the main guy, his name's Osama. Sorry, the main guy's name is Osama. He's living in very bad circumstances, and he has had 2 kidney operations, and it says the shock of his son took away half of his health. And then he also says that it's his daughter that suffers from fits of anger.
Oh,
so he has lost a son. His daughter needs psychiatric help every now and again, and he has kidney issues.
Okay, so no wonder he's like depressed.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot more. It was kind of hard for me to follow this.
Yeah, me too. I was like, wait, who's who?
Yeah.
I was kind of confused on like the names, but okay. So as far as the like relationship considerations, I think we should really talk about the brother, and that that could really help him out a lot with dealing with this loss. I know that if I lost a child, I would really just want to be around my family.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be, it would be very healing to me to have them around me and making me feel better, because those are the best people that I want to be around, And so I think, especially with his brother, like trying to help him with a job, that's so awesome. And they both kind of went through similar situations, although Allah's son did not die. He was really still hurt. And so I think that they, it would be good for them to come together, kind of bond over, that tragic event for their sons. And obviously, if the brother can really help him get a job, that would be awesome,
Yeah.
And obviously, it would be really hard with his like kidney operations and stuff. But I mean, once he recovered and everything, hopefully he would be able to get back to work.
And probably finding a job where it was minimal physical activity.
Yeah.
Like working at a store or whatever it is. That could really help.
When it'd be really hard to have a daughter who had like really bad anger issues to the point where she was needing like psychiatric care. That must be pretty bad,
Yeah.
So that's probably another huge stressor on him, as to why he's so upset.
And that's just
That's really so hard.
Yeah.
And there's not really much you can do about that, except just get your daughter the help she needs.
Yeah.
And love her for who she is. So
that's true. Yeah, I think those are taken into consideration. And I was also reading another part right here, and it talks about another son named Mahmoud.
Whose son is this? Is this Osama's?
This is Osama's son, Mahmoud.
Okay.
And it says right here, one day he asked me to buy him a gun. I asked him why. He answered, because I want to kill Israelis. And he said, why? And I was like, they killed my brother. And so I think that could be, that anger that little boy has as well towards Israelis and probably needs to be addressed. That's another relationship that he needs to consider. And I think the father needs to consider, okay, am I harboring hate in my heart that's transferred to my family?
Right, because it seems to me that son is taking the anger from his dad as well.
Yeah.
And it's making it worse,
Yeah.
That he sees also how upset his father is, and he's just like, man, I want to kill these people because of what they've done. But that's not, the dad should be addressing that, like you said, like, look, we need to be loving and mature about this, and
Yeah.
just address it in a good way where it's not a resort to tons of violence.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's really true, Donna, too, because I'm, growing up, you're always like, oh, yeah, everything mom and dad says is right. So these kids are probably really seeing the way their dad is dealing with this loss and thinking it's really normal.
And maybe the son wants to help. Like, maybe everything will be better if I go shoot Israelis.
Yeah.
And kill them. Maybe my dad will be happier, or maybe my dad won't be sick anymore. Yeah, payback. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a really good one to mention too in the relationships.
Yeah,
that need to be addressed. I think that's like another big.
I agree. Is there anything else that on your section, Cassidy, that you wanted to address? Or
I think I'm good. Mine. They seem so. Just recommended coping strategies. We kind of talked about different methods we could use for that, and then recommendation to supporting involved parties. So I really think the brother has a huge part on support for the dad, and then additional resources. I mean,
maybe to claim refuge in a different country.
Yeah. I mean, I'll write it. I don't know what it's weird that the case study didn't really go into more detail.
Yeah.
On their personal lives, and it just kind of stopped. I feel like the story just ended.
I know.
Wait, what's going on? But yeah, I'll definitely write that. And yeah, psychological help. I feel like definitely some counseling needs to be going on. Personal, and then maybe family later if that's something that they feel will benefit them as a whole.
I agree.
So. Okay, ladies, cool. That sounds good.
Well, thank you guys for being willing to meet tonight.
Yes, I know. Thanks, you guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been
and
good.
it's our last case study. Woo!
2 more weeks, guys.
I know. So excited.
In the last week, there's not very many assignments, I don't think.
I know. So hopefully this is good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you'll send us you'll send it to us.
I'll share it. Yeah, I'll create the Google Doc and then share it with you. And it should probably, you get an invite in your email and then go ahead and fill out your part.
Cool. And then I'll submit it. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
See ya.
Have a good night.
Bye.